Hi guys, today we are looking at lifestyle factors that will influence body transformation and overall health. It's not going to take a massive amount of time to get through this sort of talk, but the information it will cover really is key, and we'll focus on, as I say, just a couple of points that can make a massive difference to your results. Gonna just start off with the stress bucket. So as you can see on the diagram here, um, there are certain stressors that we all encounter on a daily basis. We can give them different names to what's there, but there's physical stressors in the form of exercise, and where you see the red arrow, arrow represents unhealthy levels of physical stress. The green arrow represents healthy levels of physical stress. Then you've got chemical, so that could be from a something affecting basically your hormones, your physiology. It could be food, it could be chemicals that you're exposed to, toxins, poisons that you're exposed to on a daily basis, affecting your physiology, your hormones. And again, there's obviously good stress and bad stress that affects our physiology. There's also like psychological stress, um, which obviously is something that a lot of people struggle with these days. Again, there's good psychological stress that challenges us, that stimulates us, and there's also an unhealthy amount of it that pushes us too far. Nutritional, again, a good healthy food intake is obviously a good form of nutritional stress to the body. It gives back rather than just takes, whereas eating unhealthy foods is often just depleting us and pushing us, adding more and more stress to the system. Um, so what happens with all of these stresses is they all go into that one bucket, and then our body has to manage this. Yeah, so as you can see in as these stresses all filter through the bucket there into the bottom part of the diagram, you can see that the green represents a healthy amount of stress. So, someone that's operating in the green has got a healthy amount of stress, and their body is comfortable with that. It can maintain that homeostasis, that balance there. As we move into the yellow, that indicates someone that's starting to find that symptoms start to appear, pretty mild symptoms start to happen, and they start to maybe just generally not feeling great, noticing that they're picking up colds and coughs and just minor things really to begin with, because their system's overloaded. And at times we all get there, we're always, at times we'll all be in that sort of yellow zone, but optimally, ideally, we want to stay as close to the green as we can. And then obviously, once someone moves into the red, the symptoms start to become much more severe. So this is where it's really important to focus on our lifestyle to manage physical stress, psychological stress, nutritional stress, all of these different stresses that we've got on a daily basis that can push our system to overload, to breaking point. And as I say, we're all going to go fluctuate between different zones at times, and that's okay for a short period. But once someone stays in the red zone or the yellow zone for too long, it's not healthy on our body. It's not healthy on the system, and all of this really does tie into health, fitness, and weight management. And we're going to sort of talk about that a little bit more now. So lifestyle. So as I've put there, this is often the forgotten piece of the transformation puzzle. Your lifestyle can either work for or against you when it comes to looking and feeling great. And most people focus on their nutrition. We've talked about nutrition in previous webinars. We've talked about exercise and the importance of them, and everyone knows them. But as we've said, sleep and stress management and any other factors regarding lifestyle can have a huge impact on your results. And people can become very frustrated, thinking, why is it not happening? Why am I not seeing the results that they expected? So we're just going to look at a few sort of tips how we can work through these. So first of all, starting off with sleep. There's lots of research out there now stating that those that struggle with sleep have been shown to abuse stimulants such as coffee, Red Bulls, caffeinated stimulants, alcohol. These sorts of substances much more likely. Someone that struggles with sleep is more likely to skip exercise, and someone that is lacking in sleep is also going to more likely be eating fast foods. We know these things, and it makes sense. If you're struggling and you're not getting enough sleep, your body's just going to want to make things as easy as possible and reach for things that are going to feed it sugar and energy in the most quickest, easiest form. But that's not the best solution. Um, uh, we're not going to get the perfect night's sleep every time. That we're not saying that every night needs to be the perfect sleep pattern. That's never going to happen. If you've got kids, of course, we're not saying that's always going to be the case. But as much as we can, we do need to have a bedtime routine. We know that that's important for our children, but oftentimes we don't do that. Oftentimes we'll sit up watching telly as another stimulant. And our minds are racing from the program that we've been watching. So I think it is important that we understand that we're not always going to get the perfect night's sleep, but as close to it as possible is what we're looking for. So 7.5 hours of quality sleep per night is what they suggest is sort of optimal. More than that will not help you lose weight. So, it's not a case of trying to get more and more and more. 7.5 hours is what we all should be aiming for. But if you're getting 5 hours of sleep or less, maybe, or 5.5 hours of sleep um, per night, you would definitely benefit from increasing your sleep to 7 hours, and research has shown that someone that goes from 5 hours to 7 hours would definitely see a decrease in inches by making that small lifestyle change. So how does it work? So there's two hormones, ghrelin and leptin. They're the key, really. So ghrelin is a go hormone that tells you when to eat. Sleep deprived people have more of this hormone in their system, so obviously it's making them want more. And as I say, someone that's sleep deprived has more of that hormone in their system. Leptin is the hormone that tells you to stop eating. Um, Again, sleep deprived have less of this hormone in their system. So you can see how, if you're not sleeping well and it's going on for months and months and months, leading to years, and that becomes a habit, a pattern, how them two hormones will be affecting your results. So how do we get a good night's sleep? So there's lots of little things that we can do. Obviously, trying to cut down on the amount of stimulus, light, and so on in the room, especially an hour or even more beforehand. If we're stressed out, we want to be writing things down, maybe, or if we've just got a really active mind and we can't focus, and we're focusing on things that have got to be done tomorrow, we want to write all that information down. So really, we want to create like a bedtime ritual that helps to prepare us for bed. Making sure that the room's the right temperature, making sure that the bed's comfortable, making sure that your stress levels are under control. And as I say, trying to cut out caffeine and sugars and things like that that's going to stimulate, that's going to make you feel more awake and alive, when really the body needs to be calming down and shutting down, really. Um, Next, we're going to have a talk on stress management. So stress again is a major cause for most people as to why they've struggling with their weight. And if you already have a stressed body and you just try to focus solely on the exercise, you just add in more and more stress to the system, which won't be good. We've got to get the system healthy first. So, I mean, if I go back to that stress bucket, as you can see, um, if someone comes in and they're already in the red because of, say, they've got a really bad diet, they've got a really poor mindset, they've got lots of stress going on, they've maybe already got lots of symptoms and everything happening, and then they try to exercise, we're going to need to really keep their exercise levels quite low initially until we've got everything else under control. And then we can start to build up the intensity of the exercise once those other factors are under control. It can be, I've seen it so many times where people are struggling to lose weight and they're trying to do more and more and more and more, and they're still not losing the weight, the inches. They're cutting back the calories, which is more stress on the system because they're not nourishing their body, and it leads to frustration and depression and lack of motivation. So we've really got to understand how it's not just about calories in, calories out, and it's not just about exercising more and more and more. It's about understanding how your body is dealing with the stresses that are coming into it. So, stress management. So, cortisol, the stress hormone, raises during tension-filled times. Um, this can turn your overeating into a habit. So, as we know, most people who are heavily stressed have got some form of addiction to food. Not everyone, but a lot do have some form of addiction to foods, and this can be heavily linked to these stress hormones. So, increased levels of the stress hormone also causes higher insulin levels. Your blood sugars drop and you crave sugary, fatty, fast foods. That's the way it works. So again, if you realise that your stress levels are out of control, everyone, as we've said, it's about like with the sleep. We're not always going to be perfectly de-stressed and operating optimal. We are going to get stressed out of time, and that's okay for short periods. But if you're operating stressed all the time over large periods of your day, again, that's going to have a massive impact, a negative impact on your health, on your fitness, and on your body transformation goals. So, what can we do about it? We need, there's lots of things out there. And what I would say is it's about choosing the right tool for you. So, some people would find meditation really, really beneficial and breathing really, really beneficial. For others, they might be very skeptical to begin with. So, it might be that they start off doing something else like walking, or something different that helps them to de-stress and calm down. Exercise can help, meditation can help, um, mindfulness can help. There's lots of different options out there, so there's not one thing that's going to work for everyone. It's about finding the right solution for you. So, as I say, if you do need more help with any of these issues, obviously feel free to let me know and we can talk about them specifically, how they work for you. um, but yeah, as I say, if you can start to think about what it is that's maybe stressing you out and start writing these things down, and then we can look at how we deal with them then specifically that way. And the other thing, the final thing really to just touch on is creating a support network, support system. So using friends and family to hold you accountable to your goals. I think that it's also about understanding who are the right people to mix with, because there will be certain people that pull you away from your goals and aren't supportive of you and that don't really help you massively and maybe take you in the wrong direction. And we need to be mindful of those people, and not cut off from them, but perhaps maybe have a strategy for how we're going to manage them people and deal with them. And then we need to know the people that will be there for us, that are going to hold us accountable, that you can talk to and say, look, this is my approach, this is my plan, and I want you to help me to execute it, so that they know that if they see you at a time of weakness and you need that little bit of of extra support, they can be there to help you with that. So I hope this has all made sense. As I say, we will share more information on this in future webinars. Really, these first few webinars have just sort of covered the foundational elements. Yeah, so we've covered the foundation with exercise, the foundation with mindset, with nutrition and lifestyle. Now we can start to build and go much deeper with them in future weeks. Final slide here. So over the next 2 weeks, so 2 weeks now, we're going to do. So we've just finished that first program section, where we've started using the program cards. I know a few of you hadn't really understood the full concept of using the program cards, but I think most of you now do understand it. If you don't, have another look through the program design webinar. Make sure that you understand how to use them program cards and the importance of using them, what sort of information you've got to record down, and if you're unsure, then please let me know and I can go over it with you. What you can do as well to make things a little bit easier is, once you've done week one of your program card and filled out the numbers, your reps, and how many rest periods and the weights and the resistance that you're using, once you've filled out week one, what you can then do is, using the progression sheet that came along with the program card, you can then plan out each week ahead. So you can write down, okay, I'm meant to be increasing by 1 to 2 weight increments next week, and then 1 to 2 the week after, and then the week after we're meant to be dropping by 2 or 3, and then the week after that we're meant to be increasing it by 2 or 3. And so by following the progression sheet, you can really map out and plan, okay, by this point I should be doing X amount of reps, X amount of resistance, and therefore then you can just sort of spend a couple of minutes. And what I'd recommend that you all do is spend at least 2 or 3 minutes before each session studying your program card, looking at what you got in the previous session and what your target is for the next week. Yeah, so that we can be ahead of the game, not sort of in the workout trying to find out where we should be and what we're looking to achieve then. Okay, so for the next 2 weeks we'll be doing a bit of a cardio workout, and then we'll then start a new resistance training plan, with the program cards and everything, from the 19th of Monday, the 19th of June. And what I will do is, next week's webinar we'll talk about the new program cards and the new workout system, new workout program, which will be starting the following week, Monday the 19th. Okay, any questions, just fire us an email. Thanks a lot.